Prosecutors finished presenting their case today in the rape trial of two former Vol football players. A.J. Johnson and Michael Williams are accused of raping a fellow student back in 2014. The players say she is lying because she is embarrassed. The lead Knoxville police investigator in this case took the stand today.
Prosecutors are using his testimony to help make the argument that leaders at UT worked to protect the two football players. 10 News reporter Cole Sullivan joins us with day 4 of testimony and how defense lawyers countered that claim. Cole.
Robin and John, when this case began, prosecutors said that they would prove that the two players had power, privilege, and protection on UT's campus. Today they used phone records from Butch Jones and asked questions of the lead investigator on the case to try to prove the protection part of their argument.
The magnitude of this case at the time was kind of overwhelming, just with the people we interviewed.
KPD investigator Tim Riddle took the stand Thursday in the rape trial of two former UT football players. He interviewed the accuser only hours after she says she was raped. And in that early stage of the investigation, he says high-level officials of KPD and UT Athletics were already talking.
The incoming call to Butch from David Roush.
Phone records show a call from former Knoxville Police Chief David Roush to then head football coach Butch Jones.
Those players just are not made available for us to go jerk out of practice or out of class.
When he was able to talk to players, he said he had to interview them on campus.
We want those people to come to our place. To me, it's highly unusual to go out in this particular environment and interview this many witnesses.
And he says a UT senior athletic director sat in on almost all those interviews.
He informed me that $250 million was brought into the Knoxville area due to the UT program.
On cross-examination, defense attorneys point out Riddle doesn't know what was said on the calls between Roush and Jones.
You've not interviewed Chief Roush about those calls, have you?
No, sir.
You have not interviewed Coach Jones about those calls, have you?
I don't think I will have access to Coach Jones.
And that the police department says they did nothing wrong.
It's not irrelevant. They're trying to come up with some vast conspiracy between KPD and UT.
When they're finished their argument, prosecutors say that they're not trying to come up with any conspiracy. They say they're just presenting the facts. Tomorrow, the defense attorneys for the two players will have their chance to present their facts as well. They'll call their first witness in court here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Back to you.
Cole Sullivan on this story. Thank you.